At home with the Gamecocks, and time to catch up with Jacksonville State women's basketball coach Rick Pietri. Coach, um, good to see you. First time I've seen you, I guess, in about 6 weeks, even if it is by Zoom. First of all, your immediate family, and your all members of your family, everybody good, safe at this point in time?
Yeah, at this point in time, as you know, Mike, having been raised in New Orleans, my folks still live in New Orleans, and of course, we know that New Orleans and South Louisiana was hit really hard by this thing, and so I've been communicating with my parents regularly, and New Orleans is a social place. The people there are social, so it's been a real struggle for both my parents who are in their 70s to have to stay home. They have a very large, wide porch in the front of their house, and so they've had some friends come and sit on the opposite end of the porch from them to practice their social distancing, so they can still get a little bit of social aspect into life. But my mother really misses going to restaurants, but otherwise they're doing okay. And then two sons, one that lives in Birmingham and in the Birmingham area, and one lives in Houston, and they're doing okay as well.
Did that hit you, being a native of New Orleans, with what they went through? Did that hit you pretty hard when that happened, when all this going on?
It really did. On the front end, because we've been through this for a little while now, but on the front end, when you really didn't know what it was going to look like later on, it was really disturbing for me, to know what my hometown was going through, and and also to know that I had my parents there, and not knowing what that was going to mean for them, and knowing that my parents are in that age bracket that is,
right,
the most endangered. So,
and you're 6 hours away from them, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was very unnerved on the front end of this. As we've gone through it, as we've been through this for a little while, and you kind of observe things and seen trends, because I check the NOLA.com website daily just to see what the latest information is on what's going on there. And they have some nice graphs that kind of give you an idea of where things are with, hospitalizations and so forth, and new cases. So I paid close attention to that, and so I'm not as unnerved now as I was before. But nonetheless, we're all unnerved from the standpoint that we just don't know what the end is.
And I know you're a guy, you've got everything placed in order. So I guess this is not knowing about when you're going to get your team back on campus, when you can start workouts. I guess it has just sort of turned your wheelbarrow upside down, so to speak, right?
Well, there's no question. And really for my kids, my players, they're kind of upside down too, because they don't know what's coming. And they don't know, for instance, whether we're going to be able to come to campus for summer school or not, for summer access. The sport of men's basketball, women's basketball, and football, we've got access to our kids. And we can coach our kids in the summer. Men's basketball, women's basketball, we can actually have coached workouts in the summertime that other sports can't do. And so we've relied on that for the last few years. I mean, that's a relatively new thing in the NCAA landscape. We've had that for 3 years, past 3 summers where we could work with our kids. So again, I talk with our kids, once a week. I'll be talking with them today, as a matter of fact, each one of them, including our signees. And just trying to stay connected, trying to answer whatever questions that I'm capable of, and and just talking about what I can in terms of what we know about what's next.
All right, you have 4 new faces that you'll have on your team. So going back to those summer workouts, I guess as you look toward next season, assuming we get to play basketball in a 2021 season, if you don't get those summer workouts, does that make you feel like you're a little behind in getting ready for an upcoming season?
It does, because whenever you get used to having something, we didn't have it before, so you didn't miss it.
Right.
Now we've had it the last few years, so now you take it away, now you're going to miss it. So there's no doubt that it will have an impact. I guess it's just, and the other fact is not knowing what other states are going to do and what other campuses are going to do. I mean, that's the latest thing, is it kind of, and the NBA has shown that with their release, the fact that, well, if your state allows you to come back to your facilities, you can. And so, I know that's really bothered the West Coast facilities, because they're a little bit more strict out there with what they're allowing. So, So yeah, so you just want to be on the same playing field as close as you can be to on the same playing field as the people you're competing against. And so, so yeah, look, in my world, would it be great to have summer access for our kids to come on campus? Sure. But I'm also going to go with whatever, our administration says that we have to do. I'm also going to follow that lead.
4 signees, one of them a junior college All-American. I got to think you're excited and happy and want to get on the floor and see what you've got and how they mix and blend with your returnees, correct?
There's no doubt about it. And that's because, we've got some kids who I think can score the ball. And, that's, we've been very good. This past year, we got off to a very poor defensive start. And as a result, we had a poor non-conference showing. But once we got into conference play, we kind of figured it out defensively. And we had a very solid year in conference. So for us to balance it out, we've got to get better offensively. And so we signed some kids who we believe can put the ball in the basket from a variety of places and areas. And so if we can get them all caught up defensively, I think we have a chance to have some success this year.
You've got some speed that you've added with the signees getting up and down the floor too, haven't you?
No doubt about it. I mean, we've got some athletic kids who can handle the ball, who can shoot it from the perimeter at all positions. We've got three true perimeter kids, and then we got a high school senior is a young lady who can play inside and out, and so that really helps us. And everybody can make a 3-point shot, so that really helps us spread the floor out to create more gaps to take advantage of the athleticism that we currently have and have added with these folks.
Well, as we wrap this up, any honey-do jobs you've got to get done here in the next few days? My wife and I have done some things outside that I normally don't get to, and there's probably some more that she'd like me to get to, but, I find a way to get distracted really easy. But at any rate, we're making the most of the time we have. And of course, and that means working as well. Well, I'm glad to see that you have kept your razor close by, unlike a couple of our other coaches that we visited with here lately.
Well, when you have these Zoom meetings with prospects, you need to shower. You need to look like you're kept. So that's what's kept me. Otherwise, I might look like some of our other coaches with the growth.
Coach, thanks for your time. Hopefully, we'll get to meet in person here and come together again real soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.